I hear nasty things about myself. I hate even having this conversation over and over and over again because it feels like I think with me, it's just never gonna change.
Kylie Jenner didn't just play the beauty game, she rewrote the rulebook and sold it out in minutes. One lip kit, one mirror-ready selfie, and an entire generation believed the dream could be painted on. Stores wrapped in lines, shopping carts crashed, and every swipe felt like access to a private club where pigment doubled as status. For a while, celebrity equaled quality. If the Kardashian-Jenner orbit touched a product, it had to be worth it. That spell worked until it didn't. The ground shifted when the audience stopped whispering goals and started asking receipts. Reviewers filmed under harsh bathroom lights. Chemists translated labels into plain English. Makeup artists showed dupes that cost a fraction and wore just as well. The algorithm rewarded honesty over ad copy, and suddenly glossy packaging couldn't outshine side-by-side swatches. The myth of automatic excellence cracked, and with it, the old celebrity-first playbook. Kylie's wave also hit a colder current. Budgets got tighter, choices got smarter, and brand loyalty started requiring proof. Fans learned to separate vibe from value. A launch could trend in the morning and still sit on shelves by afternoon if the formula fell flat. That's the new math. Attention is leased, performance is owned. When your name is the headline, the product has to be the plot twist. Then came the paperwork. Selling a majority stake to a legacy beauty giant sounded like coronation, but public filings turned the spotlight into an audit. Revenues that once floated in press claims faced the gravity of disclosures. The billionaire label became a headline revised, not a destiny sealed. That reversal didn't erase achievement, but it did puncture invincibility, and audiences remember punctures. At the same time, the brand sprawled color, skin, baby, fashion, spirits. Scale can feel like empire or like noise. Sprinter, the canned vodka soda, sprinted out with massive placement and flashy launches, but reviews split sharply on taste and expectations. KHY Fashion landed hot with first-hour sell-throughs, then faced the long marathon of fit, fabric, and repeat purchase. The message was clear: launch heat is a spark, staying power is fuel. Meanwhile, the personal story kept humming in the background. Kylie and Timothee endured months of chatter while he filmed overseas, then popped up together to quiet the noise. Relationship headlines don't sell concealer, but they do shape the sense of momentum around a mogul. When mystery lingers, speculation fills the space. When receipts appear, a cafe photo here, an event skip there, the narrative steadies. So where did the audience go? Nowhere. They simply moved from believing to verifying. They still love glamour, they just want payoff with it. If a product claims glass skin glow, it has to perform under fluorescent truth. If a price tag climbs, construction must climb with it. The brand that once sold the dream now has to prove the day-to-day. The next chapter of Kylie's empire isn't just about lipstick or marketing, it's about paper trails, lawsuits, and the fallout of numbers that didn't match the fantasy. When Kylie sold a majority stake of her company to a global beauty conglomerate, the headlines screamed victory. A valuation in the billions made it seem like her empire had finally been crowned. But then the filings came out, and the story flipped. The financials exposed a reality that was far smaller than the image she had projected. The youngest self-made billionaire title was suddenly retracted, and the world felt duped. That kind of reversal isn't just a number game, it's a trust game. Audiences don't need to memorize quarterly reports, but they remember betrayal. When the dream shifts from "this brand is unstoppable" to "wait, were we lied to?" the magic dims. In an industry built on aspiration, one crack in the illusion spreads quickly. And Kylie's brand didn't just take one hit, it took several in rapid succession. The fallout didn't stop at the valuation. Seed Beauty, the behind-the-scenes partner that had helped create Kylie's earliest products, accused the deal of exposing trade secrets to competitors. The legal clash dragged her name into another wave of bad press. For fans, it didn't matter who won in court, the takeaway was clear. The empire wasn't as polished or airtight as it looked from the outside. For an image built on perfection, these cracks became magnified under the public spotlight. While the lawsuits brewed, the products themselves began to lose steam. Relaunches didn't hit with the same energy. What once felt rare and untouchable now felt recycled and predictable. Fans who once stayed up all night refreshing product pages began to sit back, confident that there would always be another drop. Scarcity had been Kylie's secret weapon, but once fans realized there would always be more, the urgency evaporated. And then came the expansion strategy. In theory, spreading across categories sounds powerful: beauty, skin, baby care, fashion, and even alcohol. But the broader the empire grew, the thinner the magic stretched. A single fragrance teaser felt more like noise than news. A canned cocktail could launch with huge placements, but if people tasted it and called it bland, the damage spread instantly. The fashion line landed with excitement, but whispers about quality made the shine fade quickly. Instead of one tight focus, Kylie looked like she was throwing darts in every direction, hoping one would stick. Fans aren't blind to this strategy. They've seen it before. The Kardashian-Jenner playbook has always involved planting 100 seeds, waiting to see which sprout, and abandoning the rest. That approach can work when momentum is endless, but when the audience is skeptical and over-informed, it comes across as desperation. Too many launches in too many directions start to feel less like innovation and more like panic. And the more chaotic the portfolio looks, the harder it is to convince people that any one product truly deserves their loyalty. The cracks in Kylie's business empire weren't just about money or market shifts, they were also about connection. In the age of TikTok and live stream culture, audiences want founders who feel like friends, not polished mannequins. When creators like Tana Mongeau or Trisha Paytas spill chaotic details of their lives, fans devour it because it feels raw and unscripted, like a late-night FaceTime call. That kind of messy authenticity builds trust, even when the content itself is outrageous. Kylie's version of openness, by contrast, comes across as rehearsed. When she shares behind-the-scenes moments, the lighting is perfect, the angles are curated, and the words sound like they were pre-approved in a boardroom. Even casual selfies with her daughter or clips of her being real feel staged. Viewers don't buy it because it looks like branding rather than vulnerability. In today's culture, that disconnect is deadly. The irony is that Kylie built her empire on illusion. The lip kits were never just about lipstick. They sold the fantasy of having Kylie's lips in a single swipe. For years, that illusion was powerful enough to drive lines around the block. But the new generation of beauty consumers doesn't just buy the dream. They want proof. They want texture shots, wear tests, and raw reactions. When the promise doesn't match the payoff, people drag it online, and no amount of marketing budget can outshout a viral, "Don't buy this" video. Other celebrity brands adapted. Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty slowly built credibility by focusing on products that delivered and packaging that was accessible. Rihanna's Fenty expanded shade ranges and redefined inclusivity, earning trust that outlasted initial hype. Even Lady Gaga's House Labs took an early stumble, but came back stronger after reformulating and focusing on a single-star product. These brands proved that reinvention is possible when you listen and adjust. Kylie, on the other hand, doubled down on the old playbook: curated drops, perfect photos, and branding that screams luxury without backing it up in performance. The problem? Fans are educated now. They compare dupes side by side. They watch dermatologists explain ingredient lists. They test fashion lines for durability. Glossy packaging doesn't survive that kind of scrutiny. That's why Kylie's empire feels stuck in the past. What once felt like cutting-edge marketing now feels like smoke and mirrors. Even when she insists she's being transparent, audiences roll their eyes. It's not that people hate her, it's that they don't believe her. And in a marketplace where authenticity is currency, disbelief is bankruptcy. At the heart of it, Kylie's challenge isn't about fame. She will always have millions of followers and endless visibility. The real battle is trust. Can she convince a skeptical audience that her products deserve more than a quick scroll by? Or has the algorithm already moved on, rewarding brands that put substance before spectacle? The most telling sign of Kylie's struggle isn't in the flashy launches, but in the silence that follows them. A decade ago, every product she dropped dominated feeds for weeks. Today, even her boldest launches barely last a day in the cycle before audiences scroll on to the next viral brand. That isn't because beauty fans stopped caring about glam, it's because they've learned to separate fantasy from follow-through. And if a brand can't deliver consistency, no amount of celebrity shine can keep it afloat. Look at how the strongest players evolved. Rare Beauty leaned into accessibility, creating products that looked good on camera but also performed in everyday routines. Fenty doubled down on inclusivity, making its foundations the standard for shade variety. Even smaller players found niches like House Labs, zeroing in on foundation quality until word of mouth rebuilt the brand. Each of these cases shows the same lesson: innovation plus authenticity beats image alone. Kylie's empire hasn't had that reinvention. Nearly 10 years after her lip kit explosion, the brand hasn't dropped a truly groundbreaking product to reset the narrative. Expansion into skin, baby, fashion, and alcohol hasn't filled the gap. Instead, it's scattered the focus. Fans are left wondering what Kylie Cosmetics actually stands for. Is it innovation? Luxury? Accessibility? Right now, it feels like none of the above. The irony is that Kylie still holds enormous influence. Her audience is massive, her reach is global, and her name is etched into pop culture history. But influence without trust is fragile. Fans will double-tap her selfies, watch her relationship headlines unfold, and even gossip about her latest collabs. But when it comes time to spend money, they hesitate. And that hesitation is what kills momentum in beauty. So, where does Kylie go from here? If she wants to win back her audience, it won't be through another glossy campaign or another line extension. It will come from showing, not telling, that quality comes first. That means fewer launches and more focus. It means investing in formulas that stand up to TikTok's microscopic reviews. It means leaning into storytelling that feels unpolished and personal, not staged and scripted. In short, it means proving that Kylie Jenner, the mogul, is willing to evolve just as fast as the market she helped shape. Until then, the gap between her image and her products will keep widening. And in the world of beauty, once customers decide a brand is all smoke and mirrors, they rarely circle back. Kylie doesn't need to chase nostalgia or try to recreate the chaos of her first lip kit drop. She needs to invent something new that can stand on its own without her face on the packaging. Only then will she earn back the one thing money and marketing can't buy: trust. So the question lingers: will Kylie make the leap from spectacle to substance, or will her empire fade into the background as fans move on to the next brand that actually delivers? That answer isn't written yet. But one thing is clear: the audience is watching, and this time, they're not just buying the dream, they're waiting for the proof.